legalization.org.
Arguing for the end of adult marijuana prohibition is easy because we have facts, science, reason, compassion, evidence, truth, and logic on our side. It is even easier when researchers catalog it all for us. Learn how to gather the facts on marijuana use, arrests, seizures, rehabs, drug tests, and more in this edition of Drug War Data Mining. Welcome back, everyone. 23 after the hour. An interesting post in the Washington Post today on their Wonk blog section. I love reading these articles. They usually have all sorts of great data and statistics. And the headline today is, even as marijuana use rises, arrests are falling. More people smoking more marijuana, fewer of them getting arrested. That sounds like a good thing to me. Now, taking a look at the article, they examine two data sources, the National Survey on Drug Use and Health and the FBI Uniform Crime Report. And from the Survey on Drug Use and Health, we find that in the aggregate, adding it all up together, Americans used marijuana on over 3.5 billion days in 2013. Okay. And the way that the data is structured is that the survey will ask how many days a year did you use marijuana in the past year? And, people give a number from 1 to 365. You can break that data down. It doesn't tell us how many times per day a person may have used marijuana. It's just marijuana use days. So the guy who takes one toke off a joint at his high school class reunion in the summer, that counts as a day. And me sipping on the vapor pen all day counts as a day. So the numbers may even be greater as far as the overall consumption, especially considering that near daily consumers consume far more marijuana. But in the aggregate, 3.5 billion days of marijuana use in 2013, that's a rise of over 57% since 2007. So it's gone up by over half in the aggregate use days. But in that same period since 2007, according to the FBI Uniform Crime Report, marijuana possession arrests fell 21%. Arrests for possession alone are down to 609,000. So the net effect of the decline in arrests and the increase in use days translates into a 50% drop in marijuana enforcement intensity. That's a stat that tells you based on what's the chance you're going to get arrested based on the number of days you use marijuana versus how many arrests there are. In 2007, there was one arrest for every 2,900 days. In 2013, there is one arrest for every 5,800 days. So it's half as likely now on any given day that a marijuana user is going to get busted. The way they put it is that the average twice-a-week marijuana user could thus today reasonably expect to be arrested less than once per half century. So less than once every 50 years. Back in 2007 is once every 25 years or so. And a major change in the data also comes from the legalization of marijuana, but this is a change from 2007 to 2013. So for those first 5 years, up through 2012, marijuana wasn't legal anywhere. However, the theory goes that marijuana enforcement has been reduced since 2007 as more states have adopted medical marijuana laws and decriminalization, especially California, largest state in the union, decriminalized in 2010. And we also find that new initiates to marijuana are actually on the decline. People whose first time use of marijuana, there were 2 million of them in 2007. 2 million first timers in 2007. That had risen up to 2.6 million first timers in 2011, but as of 2013, it's down to 2.4 million first timers. So we have fewer people that are taking up marijuana lately, even as it's become more legal. What's really driving the increase with respect to the aggregate use days is the large increase in the number of daily or near daily marijuana users. Remember I mentioned they keep track of how many days per year you say you've used marijuana. They break this down into categories, and one of the categories, 350 days a year or more, are considered the daily or near daily users. For that statistic, in 2003, there were 3.1 million Americans who were daily or near daily users. That had risen up to 4.8 million by 2011. This is from the National Survey on Drug Use and Health, the 2-year sub-state RDAS database. So it actually averages figures from a 2-year period. So 2002 to 2003, there was 3.1 million. And 2010 to 2011, there was 4.8 million. But still, a huge increase in the number that are using marijuana daily or near daily. Now, the article concludes that says, as a consequence, they will have a higher risk of negative health from their heavy, regular drug use, but a lower risk of being arrested. Now, I would disagree. We are seeing so many studies recently that show even constant use of marijuana, regular daily use of marijuana, is not associated with decrease in lung function, is associated with an increased protection against risk for cancers, and is found to have no significant long-term effects on mental health or cognition. The fact that more people are using marijuana daily also seems to correspond with fewer people using tobacco and alcohol daily, and could lead to many people addicted to harder drugs and prescription drugs a way off those deadly substances. That's good.